Good evening, Purple. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Pigeon Mac, good evening. Record, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I got something I have to do here quickly. I'll be back with you. All right. Lori's, good evening. Hello, Will in chat. Good evening. Been a bizarre Sunday for me so far. Sometimes you just have those days where things just don't quite work out the way that you expect them to. Nothing terrible, just didn't work out the way I expected it to so far today. Right card 0713. That's new. Give it a couple more minutes here, and then we're gonna get the trivia going. Mel, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. I know you're not new, Will. Right, Card. I know you're not new. You changed your icon photo, didn't you? All right. Let's get this party started. Mama's boy, daddy's mistake. Parents of serial killers without a spoon is tonight's subject matter. Get myself my little window. There we go. And over to the next screen. Now, warning for viewer discretion is advised for this stream. If you do not wish to be read about or learn about disturbing content, I highly suggest you turn it off. Some of the questions are a little bit more graphic than I normally like to have, but they're questions all the same that I put together. So, Mini Will, hello, Mini Will in my little window. So viewer discretion is advised. All right. Now you have to tell me, in the comment section, either here or after the stream, um, compared to last week's layout and how the questions are actually laid out for everyone. If you like this style better, or if you like last week's better. Last week's, to give you an idea, had pink and blue, kind of like neon, with a brick wall as a backdrop. But this week's are a little bit different. So tell me what you think about it. Here is question number one for tonight's trivia. Ted Bundy's mother, Louise, always believed he was innocent of the charges. Which line from below did she say to national press during his trial? Was it A, our faith is he is innocent, that has never wavered? B, God would never allow Teddy to do such things? C, a handsome man never kills, he loves? Or D, the charges are all lies and we will prevail in the end? Good evening, Janet. I'm here for a while, long day. Well, I'm glad you can make it. Tony, welcome, Tony. Hope you both had a wonderful weekend. I almost forgot. What did Ted Bundy's mother, Louise, say to the national press during his trial? I'm going with B, says Mel. Starfire, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. B. C. A handsome man never kills, he loves. I had to reread the options. I know the font can be a little bit harder to read because they're these fonts are I believe size 20, as opposed to last week the font size was 22. So it's not a whole lot of difference, just a little bit different in size. Question one. What did Louise, Ted Bundy's mom, say to the national press? Purple's going with B, Janice B, total guess. Feel like I could see better last week. The way that they were lined up because of the colors. Well, I'm like I said, I'm trying out both different styles to see which one fits better. I don't think she would say the word prevail. Yeah, the colors, the alignment, just giving feedback. They both are cool. Well, thank you, Pigeon Mac. The both of them are equally easy. Have the same ease from my side. For putting the questions and answers together. All right. Question number one for tonight's trivia. The correct answer is A, as in apple. Our faith is he is innocent, and that has never wavered. A, as in apple. Doing well today. Starfire got it right. All right. Question number two. Dennis Nielsen's mother blamed his violent outburst on what event in his life? In letters she wrote to him while in prison for killing 15 young men. What did she blame it on? A beating his father gave him when he was 5. B, a beating his father gave him when he was 17. C, a fall off a skateboard when he was 8. Or D, a woman who refuted his love at age 13. What did Dennis Nielsen's mother blame his violent outburst on and for killing 15 young men? Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Smoke them if you got them. That's a 0 for me, says Mel. Reichardt, he was a serial killer from Great Britain. Who is this fella? Most of the young men that he killed were either prostitutes, homosexuals. He preyed upon people of that that section of society. Dennis Nielsen, mother blamed his violent outbursts on what event in his life? In letters she wrote to him while in prison for killing 15 young men. Serial killer, parents without a spoon. A. Okay, then A. What did she blame? Mel is going with D. I'm going with D, says Mel. Purple is going with A. In his entire time while he was, alive and and in prison, his mother wrote him. I think the total is like around 230 letters or 235 letters she wrote him, and all of his mail. They all. I think it's all been collected. It's all together in one archive now. They scanned it all. I don't think they have the physical letters anymore. I think it's just like on digital. All right. Question number 2. Dennis Nielsen's mother blamed his violent outburst on what event in his life? In letters she wrote to him while in prison for killing 15 young men. The correct answer to question number 2 is D as in dog. A 13-year-old girl who refuted his love interest at the age of 13. She said Dennis became a homosexual and she blamed him for being a homosexual on the fact that this girl refuted, and rebuffed, his love interest in her. That's not how it works, but that's what she said. Have you seen the series I Am a Killer on Netflix, Will? I've seen a couple, Reichardt. I've seen a couple of them. Most of the time when I do watch anything on Netflix, it's usually something from a documentary, and I try to watch as much as I can about the death row, I'm a killer, stuff like that. Yeah, even when I'm trying to relax and not do this, I find myself drawn to it even more. Kara, hello. Oh, I'm listening while folding laundry, putting you on the TV. All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We're going on to question number 3. Question 3. Todd mother Regina Tagg was willing to just about anything. Uh, Poor grammar there. To aid in her son's defense. This was not limited in any fashion. What did she actually do? A. Helped clean up a murder location. B. Committed perjury on the witness stand. C. Helped lure victims to his home. Or D. Sold her home to pay for a private lawyer for his defense. What did Todd's mother, Regina, do for her son? You hate it? You have to do a lot of laundry. I have a system for doing laundry. I always do my son's laundry first. Then I do mine, and I get all that out of the way, and then I do like the household towels, and sheets, and blankets and stuff like that. So that way I can break it down into chores like that. He he sold her soul to the devil for lots of money. It's two people, but it's always a ton of laundry. Yeah, that happens. That's life, right? Well, there are 5 people who live in my household, but I don't do laundry for all 5. I only do laundry for myself and for my son. My wife and my daughter, they do their own laundry along with my mother. They do their own laundry. Laundry day is every day at my house. Pigeon Mac. I do it. I do it once a week. I do it on Fridays. Fridays I do laundry because my son he goes to school and they get early release on Fridays, so it works out. So the moment he gets on the school bus, I try to get the first load in before he gets on the bus, and then I can have it out all done washed before he gets out of school and is back on the school bus on the way home. I have a load every day. Mm. Question 3. What was Regina, Todd's mother, willing to do for her son? What did she actually do? Question 3. Jenna's going with D. Purple's going with C. Reichardt, C. All right. Question number 3. The correct answer is what was Todd's mother willing to do for her son? What did she actually do? The correct answer is B as in boy. She committed perjury on the witness stand, and it wasn't even good. She contradicted her own son on the witness stand and then contradicted the evidence that was actually known in the case. And she tried to give him an alibi for one of the murders, saying that he was out of town with her. And well, it wasn't so because they had knew exactly where he was when he committed that murder. And there was more than enough evidence in the case of that one case. But she committed perjury on the witness stand. That's going above and beyond for your son. So what's the answer to question 3? Reichardt, she committed perjury on the witness stand. B as in boy. Tis Mama Bear. All right, question 4. Peter Sutcliffe's father, John Sutcliffe, was a God-fearing man, an extremely man. Well, okay, again, poor grammar there. Man who never showed weakness in front of his boy. After Peter was convicted of murder of 13 women, what was the only statement he gave to the press? Was it A, I loved the lad, he deserves to die for what he's done? B, I love the lad, I would hang him myself if allowed? C, not the boy I raised, he deserves to die? Or D, God, just wait. What did Peter Sutcliffe's father, John, say after Peter Sutcliffe was convicted of killing 13 women? Question number 4. Digimax going with A, Reichardt B. Peter Sutcliffe. Cara's going with C. Janice is going with B, please. Amanda Stilla is going with C. You're lagging way behind on TV. Oh, I'm sorry, Cara. Well, I'm showing 5 out of 5 bars here on my end right now. But I'm sorry that it's lagging. Peter Chris. See, Peter Chris. Peter Sutcliffe. Father John Sutcliffe was a God-fearing man. I don't know why I even put that there. It should be a man who never showed weakness. I don't know why. I don't know why it's extremely man. But should be a man who never showed weakness in front of his boy. After Peter was convicted of murdering 13 women, what was the only statement he gave to the press? What was the only statement his father John gave to the press? One and one only. His father turned down every interview and possibility to talk about his son after this, and he has refused. I don't think John Sutcliffe is alive anymore. I think he did pass away, but don't hold me to that. He could be still alive. Purple's going with A or D. Lori D. Starfire C. What is the answer for question 4? E. I'm going to Disneyland. You've just won the Super Bowl. What do you plan on doing next? I'm going to Disneyland. I wonder how much you get paid for saying that for each quarterback who says that after the Super Bowl. A lot of 13 mentioned tonight. A lot of 13. All right, question 4. What was the one and only statement John Sutcliffe said about his son Peter after being convicted of murdering 13 women? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is A as in apple. I love the lad. He deserves to die for what he's done. A. Cement shoes. Good evening. How are you doing today, Cement shoes? But A as in apple is the correct answer. Love the lad. He deserves to die for what he's done. Okay, question number 5. Beaten, starved, ignored, and sexually abused from the age of 8 months to 17. That's 17 years of age. Which serial killer below truly lived in a house controlled by the devil? Then we wonder why they killed. Was it A, Ted Bundy, B, Israel Keys, C, John Wayne Gacy, or D, Elaine Wuornos? Question number 5. Beaten, starved, ignored, and sexually abused from the age of 8 months to 17 years of age. Which serial killer below truly lived in a house controlled by the devil? And then after I'm done and I give you the answer to this, I'll tell you why this doesn't have to deal with one individual like mother, father, by their name. Pink backdrop. You like the pink backdrop one, Juicy Jules? And good evening, Juicy Jules. Glad you could join us tonight. A and C were certainly sickos. Reichardt's going with B. Mel Stiller, D. B. I was going with D, D, B. Well, a little bit of everything except for good old. Lori Sutton is going with C, John Wayne Gacy. Gacy definitely did not have what you'd call a picturesque childhood, did he? Jesse Smollett. Juicy Smollett, as Dave Chappelle calls him, Juicy. Beaten, starved, ignored, and sexually abused from 8 months of age to 17. Which serial killer below truly lived in a house controlled by the devil? Then we wondered why they killed. CADB. Purple, I think you might actually have the answer there. Juicy Fruity. All right. Question number 5. The correct answer is D as in dog, Elaine Wuornos. Elaine had a lot of foster parents and step parents. She lived on and off again with uncles and aunts. She didn't have what you would call a traditional household, but everywhere she went her entire life, she was abused in one way or another. If you really want to read a tragic story, read the story about her younger years. The movie about her, it did some justice, but obviously Hollywood can't exactly make a documentary. Yeah, she hit the streets of really early on. Even when she was an adult trying to survive out there in the world by herself, she was abused and used by people. Even as an adult, I missed every single question. Hello. Oh, all right. Question number 6. Did anyone really love John Wayne Gacy? He endured horrific abuse at the hands of his father and his family. I'm speaking of Gacy's father side of the family. Which one belongs first incident? Innocent should be incident of abuse by his uncles to Little John and supported by his father? Was it A, forced to watch porn films weekly? B, forced boxing matches with other kids? C, forced to strip naked in the front of the entire family? Or D, never allowed to cry even when he broke his arm? Did anyone ever really love John Wayne Gacy? What was the first incident that he can remember of being abused by his father and his father's side of the family, his uncles mainly? But the grandmother was pretty freaking cruel to him too. C, D, D. No. I remember that he said answer D on Netflix. D, 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 D. D seems to be a popular one. Hmm. Lori Sutton's going with C. What was the first incident of abuse by his uncles to Little John and supported by his father? What was what was it? Do All right. Question 6. Did anyone ever really love John Wayne Gacy? He endured horrific abuse at the hands of his father and his family. Which one from below was the first incident of abuse by his uncles to Little John and supported by his father? The correct answer is D as in dog. D as in dog. He was never allowed to cry even when he broke his arm. His father and his uncles used to ridicule Little John, as that's what his grandmother used to call him, Little John. Even when he was a teenager, they called him Little John. There wasn't like a Big John or anything else, but they just called him Little John. But they were horrific towards him. always picking on him, because of his weight, his hair, or he just couldn't live up to the expectations of his father and his father's side of the family. I finally got one correct. Party time! I got one. There you go. All right, maybe you'll get some more here. Let's go on to the next question. Question 7. Dennis Rader doesn't like to talk about his mother other than to say, I think she loved me, yet she hated me. I've never seen that loving glow from her towards me. End quote. What did Dennis do with his first victim? Kind of a respectful homage to his mother. Was it A, he buried her facing Mecca? B, redressed her in red slacks, his mother's favorite color? Or C, applied his mother's personal lipstick to the victim? Or D, refused to beat or cut his victim's face? You don't have to be a serial killer because people aren't nice to you. This is true. This is true. You don't have to be. Dennis Rader doesn't like to talk about his mother other than to say, I think she loved me, yet she hated me. I never seen that loving glow from her towards me. What did Dennis do with his first victim? Not the other victims, just his first victim. Kind of a respectful homage to his mother. Question number 7. Ooh, a C, question mark? I don't know. C? What did Dennis Rader do? Very first victim. BTK's daughter hates him. I don't think that there's a lot of people out there that really like him. I don't want to say that he wasn't a very skilled individual. I mean, he obviously was skilled at what he did, but he definitely let his notoriety get the best of him. He never should have contacted the police in the first place and antagonized them. Purple's going with C. C, out of spite. Homage to his mother. What did Dennis Rader do with his first victim? Buried her facing Mecca, redressed her in red slacks, his mother's favorite color, applied his mother's personal lipstick to the victim, or refused to beat or cut the victim's face. Out of sight, out of mind. Question 7. What did Dennis Rader do with his first victim? Lori Sutton is going with B. All right, the correct answer to question 7 is C as in cat. He applied red lipstick that his mother loved. It was red, called Medina Red lipstick that was sold by Avon. He applied it to the first victim's lips and left the tube of lipstick in the pocket of the actual victim itself. The only time he actually applied makeup or lipstick to any of his victims. And that he did it kind of as a respect for his mother. C, as in cat. He applied the lipstick to his victim. Okay, moving on to question 8. Who did the FBI describe with the following? A lost and cold, soulless man who hates his mother with every ounce of his being. A truly surprising strength for a man who could have killed dozens more. Was it A, Ted Bundy, B, Jeffrey Dahmer, C, Richard Ramirez, or D, Marty Graham? I'm making a comeback. I got this one correct also. There you go. Jen's going with B. C. Who did the FBI describe with the following? A lost and cold, soulless man who hated his mother with every ounce of being. A truly surprising strength for a man who could have killed dozens more. Question number 8. C. Don't know who D is. Smith Hughes is going with A. Lori Sutton, C. Redcart, A. Mel Stiller, A. Purple is going with A as well. A lost and cold, soulless man who hated his mother with every ounce of his being. A truly surprising strength for a man who could have killed dozens more. Who were they talking about? Bundy, Dahmer, Ramirez, or Marty Graham? You know, and Starfire, you can do a Google search of Marty Graham. Marty was, to put it this, the nicest way possible. I don't want to offend anybody in case you've read up on him a lot, but he's basically he was a copycat. He didn't. I don't think he had an original thought in his entire life. He always copied and did what other people were doing. You know, he was more of a follower than he was anything else. But he was definitely a serial killer. And they do believe that he has more victims out there. He wouldn't talk to them, to authorities, and he wouldn't help in the investigation, even though they knew he did it, which is kind of a rarity because a lot of serial killers love to talk. Okay, question 8. Who did the FBI describe with the following? A lost and cold, soulless man who hated his mother with every ounce of his being. A truly surprising strength for a man who could have killed dozens more. The correct answer to question 8 is A as in apple, Ted Bundy. Good old Teddy. He did not love his mother at all. And there's stories that are unsubstantiated about him putting knives around her while she slept in bed, and some of the things he did reportedly when he was younger. But he really did not like his mother at all. If there was ever any love for his mother, he certainly had a good way of hiding it. But good old Teddy, he'd talk about anything, but you can't believe everything that that Ted would say, because he changed the story, about the circumstances of his life. If you were looking to try to find, like, the minister who came was trying to make a connection between pornography and serial killers, Ted, he changed his whole entire life story, just to make sure that his life story matched up with watching pornography, and for his and decentralization of him and his thoughts and everything else. And that's why he became a serial killer. If you were trying to find out if head trauma one was a precursor to someone becoming a serial killer, Ted would tell you he'd had concussions. If you wanted to make it, if you were doing research on whatever, he would change his life story to fit the narrative that you were trying to, research or trying to prove. Man, I suck tonight. Well, we're only to question 8. You could change it around still. All right, question 9. He has a somewhat strained relationship with his mother. People described as the most warm-hearted, kind individual I've ever met. When asked, he said he would do anything for his father, smirked about his mother. Who is this presumed killer? Is it A, Brian Kohlberger, B, Sam Sneed, C, Ruben Cantu, or D, Justin Moore? That minister was only out to get famous by interviewing Ted. Yeah, but he was also trying to prove that pornography, or he was trying to prove that the um they got to think of how to word this, because okay, he was trying to prove a theory that if a teenager is introduced to pornography, and they will look at and think of women as a lesser of an individual than if they were not introduced to pornography. And he also was trying to prove that somebody who was introduced to pornography as a teenager would go on to watch more and more hardcore pornography. That's what he was trying to prove when he came to interview Ted. And of course, Teddy was like, yeah, well, I mean, you want to talk to me? I'll change you everything. What do you want to know? It could be a factor. There's a lot of things that could be a factor. But when it comes down to it, right now, according to the Department of Justice, they don't know what necessarily, if there is any one thing that makes someone willing to kill, or to become a serial killer or a mass killer or a spree killer. They can't say, okay, this one incident or the abuse as a child will definitely make someone want to kill. They can't say that, because there are plenty of people who have really shitty childhood, out there, who never go on to kill 30 women, or 25 men and stuff them in barrels in their apartment. What makes that person, one individual want to kill and the other one's not? Question 9. He has a somewhat strained relationship with his mother, who people describe as the most warm-hearted, kind individual I've ever met. When asked, he said he would do anything for his father, smirked about his mother, who is this presumed killer here? Question 9. D, C, or D? And notice it says presumed. Presumed killer. Mel Stiller? I have no idea. No idea. No idea. I don't know. All right. Question number 9 is the answer to the question 9. He has a somewhat strained relationship with his mother, who people described as the most warm-hearted, kind individual I've ever met. When asked, he said he would do anything for his father, smirked about his mother, who is his presumed killer. The correct answer to question 9 is C as in cat. Ruben Cantu. Ruben Cantu. Ruben Cantu, convicted in 1985, executed in 1993. A two-part investigation series by the Houston Chronicle cast serious doubt on the guilt of the Texas man who was executed in 1993. Ruben Cantu had persistently proclaimed his innocence and was 17 when he was charged with capital murder for the shooting death of San Antonio man during an attempted robbery. Now the prosecutor and jury foreman have expressed doubts that the case. Moreover, both the key witnesses of states have for the state's evidence against Ruben Cantu changed their story. And it turns out one of the key witnesses that was used to convict Ruben Cantu committed perjury on the stand by identifying him in court and giving evidence that Ruben Cantu was the actual murderer, the shooter in this case. That individual was later proven to not even be in the state at the time, but got a plea deal by testifying against Ruben in that case for a lighter sentence on another charge that they had. But he was executed in 1993. He's one of the 10 cases that the Innocence Project was working on getting his case overturned, and they executed him in the meantime. Ruben Cantu. If you want, you can read up about Ruben's case. It's a tragic case. A series of injustices were done. Refusal to allow a new case, new hearing on evidence that was brought forth that they found out after the case, that the DA in his case actually knew there was a chance that the one witness was lying, but didn't even bother to tell the defense. But we support the Innocence Project. So do I. I support them wholeheartedly. All right, next question. Question 10. I loved him as much as I could. He didn't make it easy for me to love him, though. I've seen how he looks at women, lust of Satan in his heart and eyes. Pray for him. Oh, how I have. He has always been a dirty, nasty boy, just like his father. Who is this mother describing? Was it A, Ed Gein, B, John Wayne Gacy, sorry for not putting his middle name in there, C, Pedro Lopez, or D, Luca Lindholm? Who was this mother describing? her own child. She described him as a dirty, nasty boy, just like his father. Sounds like a real winner, huh? I'm sure she's a hoot on Mother's Day. Well, Mel, in a lot of states, just because new evidence comes in, doesn't and may prove someone's innocence, they don't just open up the prison door and let people go free. There are countless stories of people who have they've been able to prove through DNA evidence or whatever that the individual didn't commit the crime, couldn't have committed the crime at all. And they've sat in prison for 5, 10 more years before they were ever released. There are stories about people who've been executed, but the moment that a an inmate is executed here in the United States, either by the federal government or by the state, it, everything with that case stops right there. The inmate's gone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. We don't have to keep the evidence anymore. We don't have to keep the files on this anymore. Nothing. The moment that inmate is executed, that's sad. But they don't necessarily like, okay, well, he died at 11:54, 11:55. Let's go incinerate all the files on this. They just don't do anything with it. And eventually, they will destroy the files, and down the road, they don't have to keep it because the case has been concluded to the point of if it was a death sentence. Now, if the inmate dies because they get shanked or something, if they don't have to destroy the evidence, the case file, in that situation, but they don't have to keep it either. And a lot of states just get rid of it all. My name is Luca. Who was that sang that song? I can picture her, but I can't remember her name. I loved him as much as I could. He didn't make it easy for me to love him, though. I've seen how he looks at women, lust of Satan in his heart and eyes. Pray for him. Oh, how I have. He always He has always been a dirty, nasty boy, just like his father. Who is this mother describing? Suzanne Vega, thank you. Gemma, good evening. How are you doing, sweetheart? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Question 10. Now, Steelers going with A. I'm doing good. Great. C, A. I'm doing great, Gemma. I'm doing great. Uh, it's Monday morning here. Sarah, I'm sorry if I missed you earlier, but welcome. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. All right, question 10. The correct answer is C as in cat. C as in cat. Pedro Lopez. That is how Pedro Lopez's mother described him. Yeah, she actually did a full sit down interview, and she sounds like a real winner. All right, but she always said that he had Satan in his heart, in his eyes, and he was a dirty little boy, just like his father, Pedro Lopez. I'm happy you're doing great, Will. I did email you back a couple of days ago. I read your email, Gemma. No biggie. It's been a while. Well, still, I like to greet people as they they join the stream. Yeah, I'm sorry for missing you. All right, question 11. Oops, get my cursor over here. All right, here we go. Imagine if you can, never knowing the smile of your mother, the uplifting words of your father, instead only hearing abusive and demeaning words of your aunt, the backhand of your uncle. This is how Albert Del Savo was raised. No wonder he wanted to be surrounded by smiles. How did he get them, though? How did Albert Del Savo get the smiles that he always wanted? Was it A, told people they won a prize? B, pretended to be a photographer? C, told jokes, stand up comedy? Or D, gave people money just to smile? Wrong again, Mel? Hmm. Imagine if you can, never knowing the smile of your mother, the uplifting words of your father, instead only hearing the abusive and demeaning words of your aunt and the backhand of your uncle. This is how Albert Del Savo was raised. No wonder he wanted to be surrounded by smiles. How did he get those smiles? Robert Del Savo, come on down. You're the next contestant on Serial Killers Tonight. C says purple. Emma's going with B, lollipop and candy. My hand is doing much better now, thank you. Still stiff. Doesn't need to see me for 6 months. Well, I hope that you're not in any pain from it. If it's so, I hope it's being managed. Imagine if you can, never knowing the smile of your mother or the uplifting words of your father, instead only hearing the abusive and demeaning words of your aunt and the backhand of your uncle. K Love. Oh my goodness, I dozed off holding my phone and deleted some stuff. LOL. Sorry. Oh well, K Love, how are you doing? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Question 11. The correct answer is B, as in boy. He pretended to be a photographer, not just any old photographer. He said that he was a photographer for a national news network, or he worked in as a model, a photographer for models, and that these people were beautiful, and they, especially women, and he wanted them to, go with me for a photo shoot and smile. B as in boy, he pretended to be a photographer. That was his ruse that he used more often than not to lure his victims away from a safe location to a location he could do whatever he wanted with them. Well, good. Huh? So you didn't vote? Is Pitching Mackman timed out? I don't see it on my list here that shows that Pitching Mac's been timed out. Like Rodney Alclay did. Right car. Question 11 we just answered, and it was B as in boy. Well, I'm sure it was a mistake. I didn't see anything that Pigeon Mac said. Well, if it's 4 minutes, but it's not. Caleb, it's not showing me on my end that he's been timed out, unless I'm missing the Oh, thank you, Gemma. I appreciate it. I tried to do my best. Well, we'll just hold on for 4 minutes. Everybody, if you need to go get something to drink or snack food or finish folding your laundry, or maybe Short Nice is here somewhere listening and she's scrubbing the bathroom, whatever it may be, for a couple more minutes. It was a mistake, Rykart. There he is. All right, so now I have accidentally modded before my fat fingers. All right, look, Pigeon Mac is back. So now we can go on to the next question. We'll wait for everybody to get back, and then we'll move on to question 12. All right, going on to question 12. Question 12. Believe it or not all serial killers have had a horrific home life growing up. This serial killer had it all: a loving family, a large support network, friends, class, money. Yet he killed people and loved to torture people for more sport than that should be pleasure. Who is it? Is it A, Gary Ridgway, B, Dennis Rader, C, Harold Shipman, or D, Richard Cottingham? Believe it or not all serial killers had a horrific home life growing up. This serial killer had it all: a loving family, a large supportive network, friends, class, money. Yet he killed people and loved to torture people for more sport than pleasure, not please. Who is it? LOL, Ricardo. Who had everything going his way but decided to kill people for more sport than pleasure? Question 12. Love the Sun, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us. D sounds like Richard Cunningham. Cunningham. Mel Stiller, the English doctor. Mel's guess is C, I'm guessing. Just sneaking in. Well, that's good. I still hope you had a terrific weekend. Vikings lost to my Giants. It was a great weekend. Oh, the Vikings lost? Oh, wow. The Seahawks lost yesterday in a game that was very sloppily refereed. Very sloppily. Even there's a thing on ESPN about it. This is like the third time this crew of referees that was doing that game. I'm not blaming it on their loss to the 49ers on that, but it was just a slop. It was the errors happen on both sides, but this is the third time this crew of referees have made the same mistakes repeatedly through the regular NFL season, and they made it in the playoff game yesterday for the 49ers and Seahawks. Not calling certain penalties and then calling penalties where there wasn't a penalty. 49. Yep, 31-24. They had I think the besides the largest comeback in NFL history this year, I think the Vikings also had the most one score games or something like that. That's too bad. That means tomorrow morning I should probably get an email from my brother-in-law. He's a giant Vikings fan. Seahawks probably need Russell Wilson back. No. No. That's yesterday's news. Is Geno Smith the answer? Maybe in the short term, but he isn't going to be long term. I was hoping for the 49ers. 49ers won. Yeah. All right, question 12. The correct answer to question 12 is D as in dog. Richard Cottingham, not Cunningham. One of my favorite teams, the 49ers. There you go. They were so rude all week. Darn Vikings fans. Yeah. I like watching football, but I don't call myself a diehard fan for any one team. You know, it was kind of sad to see the Green Bay Packers lose, but without Detroit beating them, the Seahawks wouldn't have gotten in. And it's kind of just nice that to see the the Seahawks get into the wild card playoff, because at the beginning of the year they all the pundits out there said that they were going to be dead last in the NFL, and they would be lucky if they won 3 games all year. And it's nice to see that somebody kind of like the underdog, if you will. All right, question 13. Mother was a passive woman who never could tell her little boy no. His father was an abusive drunk who most certainly had mental health issues. In fact, his father tried unsuccessfully to take his own life on several occasions. Which killer are we talking about? Is it A, Joseph DeAngelo Jr., B, Robert Lee Yates, C, Randy Stephen Kraft, or D, Charles Ray Hatcher? My other team is the Kansas City Chiefs. I want him to win another Super Bowl. Go Cowboys. I had I had Dak Prescott as one of the quarterbacks in my fantasy football league, and he laid the giant goose egg on me the last game of the year. I think he ended up finishing like negative points. But I have to go. All right, Mel, you have a wonderful week. Stay safe out there. It's the Giants this year. I don't know who Randy Kraft is. Randy Stevens Kraft, the serial killer. Purple's going with B. Mother was a passive woman who could never tell her little boy no. His father was an abusive drunk who most certainly had mental health issues. In fact, his father tried unsuccessfully to take his own life on several occasions. Which killer are we talking about? Starfire is going with A. Question 13. The answer to question 13 is C as in cat, Randy Stephen Kraft. Randy Stephen Kraft. His father, to give you a little bit of background on this, his father used to sit at the table, the dining room table, and make little Randy sit at the other side of the other end of the table while he would drink himself stupid and then talk about how he was going to end his life over and over and over again. Randy Stephen Kraft said the earliest time that he can remember his father doing this was when he was 5 years of age. And he did it over and over and over again. He tried to hang himself. He tried to take pills to kill himself. And the trauma that he had to live through. But C as in cat. Question 14. Growing up in the Midwest, dreaming of the stars of Hollywood, she gave it her all, first singing in the church, then in nightclubs. She had real talent. Until that fateful day she met her Prince Charming. She never made it to Hollywood to sing in the movies. Instead, she raised a soon-to-be serial killer. Who is this? Is it A, Anthony Sowell, B, John Wayne Gacy, C, Gary Ridgway, or D, the Zodiac Killer? Growing up in the Midwest, dreaming of the stars of Hollywood, she gave it her all. First singing in the church and then in nightclubs. She had real talent until the fateful day she met her Prince Charming. She never made it to Hollywood to sing in the movies. Instead, she raised a soon-to-be serial killer. Who is this? $14. Starfire's going with B. A or B, one or two. Loves the Sun's going with B. Pigeon Mac B. Growing up in the Midwest, dreaming of the stars of Hollywood. Do, 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 do. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Yeah. Growing up in the Midwest, you see, dreaming of the stars of Hollywood. She gave it her all. First singing in the church, yeah? Then in nightclubs. She had real talent. Ha. Until the fateful day she met her Prince Charming, you see. She never made it to Hollywood to sing in the movies. Ha. C. His father owned a chicken restaurant in the Midwest. The chicken's looking good on Netflix series. C. Mustard. Put some mustard on it. Samantha Mustard McDowell. Good evening. Diana Bowman, good evening to you as well. I hope you both had a wonderful weekend. Question number 14. Growing up in the Midwest, dreaming of the stars of Hollywood. She gave it her all. First singing in the church and then in nightclubs. She had real talent. Until the fateful day she met her Prince Charming. She never made it to Hollywood to sing in the movies. Instead, she raised a soon-to-be serial killer. Who is this? Who is this serial killer? Does it have to be a sig? It can be whatever you want it to be. Purple. It can be, a dab. It can be a bowl. It could be a cigar. It could be a crack rock for all I care. Be a cigarette. Whatever. A dab. I didn't even know what a dab was until I went to a dispensary and bought $100 worth of shit for a friend of mine, and I apparently I didn't know what the hell I was buying, so I was just like, yeah, I'll take that. And he said that basically that's how he described it. Is it shit? I was like, wow, I didn't have to go do this for you. For 20 pals, Hindu Kush. There you go. Purple Hindu Kush. All right, question 14. Growing up in the Midwest, dreaming of the stars of Hollywood, she gave it her all. First singing in the church and then in nightclubs. She had real talent, and she did. I don't know if there's any actual real recordings of her, but there might be some out there somewhere, because she, not her, but other family members believe that she may have recorded like a demo at one of the smaller recording studios, but they're not entirely sure. But who is this? We're looking for the serial killer here. And the correct answer is B as in boy, John Wayne Gacy's mother, Marion Ellen Robinson. She was actually a really good singer by all accounts, from what people who knew her, growing up, and those who saw her sing in nightclubs and in and around town. But she dreamed of going to Hollywood to, sing in the movies. Whoa, dumped up. Inner Peas, good evening. All right, question number 15. Lillian Graham loved her son to a point she never believed he was guilty of murder after 7 victims were found in pieces in his apartment. Given a death sentence and then converted to life, she would spend her life savings to prove he was innocent and set up by the police. Who is Lillian Graham's son? Is it A, Glenn Harry Graham, B, Bentley Graham, C, Marcus Lucas Graham, or D, Harrison Graham? Did you make no clue? I don't have a clue who this could be. Who is this killer? Lillian Graham's son. Glenn Harry Graham, Bentley Graham, Marcus Lucas Graham, or Harrison Graham? She loved him. Never believed that he was guilty. Kind of hard to explain away 7 chopped up people in your apartment. B, maybe, says Diana. C or A, says Sarah. Billy Graham? Yeah, the televangelist, the preacher, Billy Graham. Yeah, that's who it was. Although more people have died in the name of Christianity, in wars than anything else. Well, I should say Christianity and wars against other religions. More people have died in religious wars than anything else. 100. You beat me to it. Junior, right card. D says love the sun. Every war in the world is over religion. I don't know. I probably beg to differ with that one with you, Samantha. I'm going to go with the Gulf War was over oil. Unfortunately, but that would be, and it don't matter. Lillian Graham loved her son to the point she never believed he was guilty of murder after 7 victims were found in pieces in his apartment. Given a death sentence and then converted to life, she would spend her life savings to prove he was innocent and set up by the police. Who is her son? Right, Kurt. Now I'll have to go with E. Mountain Lion. Holy Wars. Purple's going with C. Question 15. The correct answer is D, as in dog. Harrison Graham. Harrison Graham was Lillian Graham's son. She actually sold her home and everything else to try to hire anybody who could prove that her son was set up by the police, because that's what her son told her, that he was being set up and it wasn't him. He didn't do it. Damn, Harrison Ford Graham. Barry Morphew. That's all the questions, ladies and gentlemen. So, how did you do tonight? How many did you get right? It won't let me close the page. That's odd as heck. I failed tonight. That's what BK's mom will do. That's what a BK. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote, folks. I don't remember. The one that got me the most out of all of them was question 14. I had no idea about Miriam Elaine Robinson. That's John Wayne Gacy's mother. I didn't know she was a talented singer. Had no idea. Getting here even late is a win-win. There you go. I was half and half tonight. There you go. Well, I know some of the questions were a little bit, harder than others. Those questions, I've all 15 of them, I've had for probably 6 months, 8 months, somewhere in there, and then um, Cement Shoes had the idea of putting it together, but I didn't even have 15 questions. They were all about parents. As you can tell, there were some questions that didn't deal with parents at all. So I put them. I just threw the rest of them in together to make 15. If getting here late is a contest, I'm the winner. I meant Kohlberger's mom will never believe he's guilty. Now, what makes someone do something like that, though? Good quiz. Again, thanks. Well, thank you for being here with us, Pigeon Mac. We are all winners on 4-1 now. Yes, we are. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you being here with us tonight. Inner peas, winner, chicken dinner. I used to work in a casino as a floor manager, like pit boss, whatever they call it. But I used to have a boss who used to say that to me every single day. The casino's winning. Winner, chicken dinner. I never heard that before that. They used to say that to me all the time. I was like, okay. And the peas got chicken emoji there. Hard job, Will. Working in the casino as a pit boss or floor manager. I quit the job. I did it for about a little over a year and a half, almost 2 years, somewhere in there. The guy who owned the place, the casino, was a smaller casino. I think they had like 14 tables, not counting the poker tables. But it was I watching people come in and day out who I could tell couldn't afford to be there, losing. It gets to you after a while. It's like, man, just save your money and go home. The moment you walked in here, you're going to lose. And these people would just come in more and more desperate each and every week. And it got to the point where I was just like, I can't watch this anymore. So I quit. The things that always confused me was, guess what? Chicken butt. What the fuck? I'm too cheap to gamble. Cray cray. Welcome, cray cray. This seems, this live seems like a movie tonight. The video quality. No, thank you. No, except for this light over here. The it was flickering, going off and on. When I did the was it Friday when I did the channel member live stream, and it finally went out. And this is not that's not a what they call a soft white. It's what normally the light is. It's more of a yellowish tint to it tonight. That's in there now. But as far as I get to gambling, though, I wouldn't call myself cheap. Yeah, I'll throw $10 at the Mega Millions every once in a while. I forget more than I do to remember to buy them. But when it gets up to like $1 billion, I'll like, yeah, all right, I might as well throw $10 in at it. But when my friends come into town, they all like to go to the casino and hang out there. And I just go into like the bar area and sit and talk with people that still work there that I know from when I worked there. I'll take $20 when it's gone. I'm going home. I do Starfire. Like I was saying, I'll throw like $10 at at Mega Millions whenever when it gets up to like a billion or some ridiculous amount of money. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I ever won something like that. And I'd end up on some kind of YouTube video within a couple of years down the road. Lottery winner loses it all because I would look at it as I didn't have it yesterday. Why the hell does it matter if I have it today? My daughter works for Oregon State Lottery, so I can't play the lottery. I used to drive a charter bus to the casinos up in Black Hawk in Central City, Colorado. Hmm. I don't know. I'm not familiar with those casinos. My grandmother and my mother, they used to take a charter bus like that. Um, but this is back in Minnesota. I don't know where they were going. Some reservation casino. I don't know which one. But they would go and play like the nickel and quarter slots. And that was their entertainment. I'd put 1 pound to it and pay off my bills. Eagle Creek. Let's all chip in together with Purple Links and divide up. So I think what didn't Purple say she couldn't play the lottery? It's for the best. What do they call the lottery anyways? They call it the idiot tax or the poor tax. If I won the lottery, I mean, I'd pay off my bills. I mean, wouldn't we all do that? I don't know what I would do with the rest of it though. I'd have to give a large chunk of it to a charity. And I have one particular in mind. It's the Child City School at Mooseheart. I'd give money to that. What would I do with the rest of it? I don't know. Probably give a good chunk of it away to the family. We have those in the Bay Area. Big business for Indian gambling. Bus full of gamblers. We will play for purple. Yeah. I mean, it's always nice to think about what you would do with the money. And truthfully though, I mean, if I came into a large sum of money like that, I'd probably give a large chunk of it away. I mean, an awful large part of it. Believe in philanthropy. I also hated when poor old ladies would spend all their pension money at the casinos and then be crying on the bus. Now, Rykart, I worked on the other side of it, where that poor old lady would come into the casino, and I'd watch them lose their pension money. And I was absolutely I can't walk over to the table and tell people to leave because they're losing their money. I mean, the damn place was built on people losing their money. The casinos, there might be some games that are better, statistical odds, but if you're gonna go gamble your pension away, play blackjack. You know, I would never work again and hire a maid. There you go. I'll say, what a scam. Yeah, there's a lot of scams out there, but I mean, at least with people going to the casinos and losing their life savings. I mean, you've gotta know, I mean, that all that glitz and glamour and all that stuff was built on something. So they had to get the money somewhere for it. Housewives always wins. No, no, they don't. I mean, but I would, because that was the situation I was in. I'd go to work and I'd watch people losing their money. People I knew couldn't afford it, and I'm like, man, you got kids at home, or whatever, and your car's broken down. If look how you're dressed. You don't have $100 to waste, but here you are. You just blew your entire paycheck on what? What do you have for it now? It's sad. Some people just don't know how to stop ever. If I ever won big, pay off the pay off at the casino, my family would be the last ones I would give money to. There you go, purple. Everybody, you have to have a plan for it, though. My entire point, though. I had to protect my mom from the mail and the phone scammers, take advantage of the elderly. Well, I almost got scammed the other day. I got an email that looked like it was from YouTube that said that a copyright claim had been filed against me. And then I'm looking at the email, and it was just because for some reason, I don't know why, but normally, when I look at I get these emails from YouTube. I'm like, there's something just a little bit off about this email, just a tiny bit. I mean, if I was in more of a hurry, I would have actually clicked on it and then opened up could have been a virus. I don't know what their purpose is, but it said in the email that I can for it was $100, I think it was, if I pay the artist who I had stolen the music from, because it was a copyright claim about music. If I paid them $100, that they would that person would withdraw their actual copyright claim. Now, I know how the copyright claim system works, so that was like that's not how it works, in my mind. But to someone who is least, not as knowledgeable, I mean, I could see how somebody could fall for that entire thing. And then I looked at the email address, and I was like, it's not even coming from a U.S. address. It was coming from an AU email address. My plan would be to buy an RV and hire a driver to drive me all over the United States. There you go, Purple. Purple. I have a friend who does that. She has one of those big, huge Class C motorhomes, and she has somebody who actually drives that for her from place to place. She has like a Cadillac like Escalade car. It can be hooked onto the back of the motorhome and be towed along, or she can drive the car. Now, my friend, she's probably 5 foot, so I'd say 4-ish. She's about that tall. And that Escalade, man, she scares the hell out of me when she drives that thing. But she pays this guy who actually drives the motorhome from place to place. So when she gets to where she wants to go, She already has it, and he sets it all up, gets the everything ready for her, and then disappears and doesn't come back until she needs him to drive it to the next place. So there are people out there that do that. Dang, well, they are after everyone. We all need to be careful. That is true. Excessive gambling is an addiction. Yeah, yeah, it is. Fortunately, she's taller than you. My friend, soaking wet. She can't be but a buck 10. She's a great lady. She's gonna. We joke around. She's gonna outlive us all. She's already outlived 2 husbands. Mark Rober has a great video on how he closed down some scammers in India. Yeah, he got that entire place closed down. And thank you, Interpiece, for putting the link in there for to Mark Rober's video. I like Mark. Mark's a good guy. He's got his heart and his mind's in the right place. I don't know him personally, but definitely support him. In Next for Autism. I'll drive you, Purple, but for a lot of money, and you pay for the diesel. I was asking my friend about that, right, Cart? And she said it costs $700 to fill that stupid thing up. $700. I'm like, what? You have to pay for that? She's like, yeah. How do you think it gets from point A to point B? You have to put gas in it. I was like, I had no idea. I mean, I lose my mind when when the gas prices were up, and I had to fill up my truck at the and it'd be like $120 to fill up my truck. $700. I was like, you got to be kidding me. She's like, yep. But she goes all over. She's been she's been doing this for a while. And the guy only works for her during the summertime when she's moving around. Like, and she used to be into jet boats. She was one of the officiating members or whatever, something with jet boats. So she'd go all over the United States and have this done. That's how much it cost me to fill up my semi truck right now. Also, $700. Damn. I mean that's expensive. And that's just for for a Class C motorhome. I don't know. I don't know if I would do that. My camper is a fifth wheel, that hooks up to my truck. But I mean, I think I use it maybe twice a year. But it's you don't even know what size that damn thing is. This is the second one I've owned. I'd have to actually look. Maybe it's on the title, but that's in the safe, which is in the house. Depending on what part of the country you're in. I know what part of the country you're not going to be buying diesel in. Would it be one of the Dakotas? South Dakota, maybe? Rykard won't be buying diesel in South Dakota anytime soon. Will, make sure you have the family with you, though. They're all so my daughter, my mother-in-law, my son, my father-in-law, and my nephew are flying this summer to South Carolina. I think it is. I think it's South Carolina. I could be wrong, but they're going to the Mothman Festival. I never even heard of the Mothman. The Dakotas, no way. For some reason, I don't think Reichardt's a fan of the Dakotas. Now, speaking of the Dakotas, though, right around the same time that you were stuck there, um, I was reading a story about the Sioux Indians and their settlement with the U.S. government. They sued them for cheating them out of their land, and they won. And they have, to this day, I think I could be wrong about the actual tribe. It may not be Sioux, but they have refused to collect even a dime of that money. They just wanted people to know that they were right. But they got a huge sum, and like millions and millions of dollars. But they never collected even a dime of it. They don't want it. It just happened to be reading that about the same time. I'm in upstate New York right now. Upstate New York is pretty in the fall. You're all over the place, right, Cart? That's what you do when you're a long haul trucker. You go all over. Raining a lot in California. Yeah, it's raining right now here. The Lakotas is the name of the tribe in the Dakotas, Will? Lakota? Okay. Thank you. Well, then it was the Lakota who won the settlement with the federal government, and they refused to collect the money. They didn't want the money. They just wanted people to know that the government stole their land from them and violated the treaty that they had set up for them. Basically, they moved them to worthless land and stole their ancestry, from them. Pretty horrific, what they did. I mean, they weren't the only tribe, though. I mean, I'm sure they did to just about every tribe, but I just happened to be reading that around the time you were stuck there. The closest to that area that I've ever been to is the Pine Ridge Reservation. It's it's closer to Minnesota than it is to going. Okay, I'm going to get going. See y'all soon. Love my 401 fam. Stay safe out there. You have a terrific week ahead, Purple, and thank you for being here with us. Holiday blizzard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take off as well. I hope that everybody has a terrific week ahead. So remind people of this, my content schedule for this, for this week and every week. But Monday, I have a shorts video that'll be up on Monday. And then I don't do anything on any of my channels on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday. They stopped us from driving through that blizzard. Don't blame you at all. I wouldn't want to drive through that stuff either. Department of Transportation stopped us. The DOT. Now, thanks for being here, everyone. Sorry I was so late. It's all right, NRPs. Catch you next week. But again, everyone, thank you again for being here and playing trivia with us tonight. But Monday I'll have a shorts video out, and then Thursday I have obviously a full video. Friday, Saturday as well. But everyone, stay safe out there. And thank you again.